Hello, welcome to the Embodied Actor Conversations. My name is Missy Cross, and so this is just a little limited series where I get to have a little live with some of the leaders in the Mindful Actor Network. And so today we're going to be talking with Nikki Burke. And so Nikki Burke is an actor. She's a voiceover artist and she's a coach. She works with Voice Box Coaching in Toronto. And so she's also my very dear friend. So I see that she's joined. So let's see if I can do this. I'm going to invite you. Oh, shit. This is my second time doing this. And so far, it's not letting me invite you. Let me see. What can I do here? Well, this is a good time to breathe. So I'm telling myself, here, view request. Ta-da. I think. Let's see. Does she join or does she leave me to talk to myself? It worked. Oh my God. Seriously, the hard part is over.
I sent you the request as well. And I think that's how it worked. So the funny thing with me is that my iPad only works if it's standing like on its side. Like
you look right side up to me.
What about this though?
That you're on the side.
Right? So that's what I mean. I have to put it like the wrong way for me to be right side up. But
okay, great. Just like tilt your head and you'll see me right side up. Oh, it's nice to see you. It's been so long.
Hang on. I'm going to get like another book because it's going to drive me nuts to sit like a hobbit the whole time. So
okay, I love it. If you know Nikki, you know that she does what she wants. She asks for what she needs. And she has there's no apology. And that's what I love about you, Nikki.
It's like, okay, it's broken. Let's find a solution. Let's work this out. All right.
Welcome. Nice to see you.
You too. Thanks for having me.
I'm so stoked to have you here. So let's see. Let me see where we start. You started acting on Smallville. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that was like the first on-camera gig. I played a little receptionist, and that's as good as it got for film and television for me. So
how was that? How did that go on set?
Actually really fun. Honestly, like this was probably about, I want to say about 14 years ago or something like that. So Smallville was a big deal. I was living in Vancouver. It was the show to get on and be on. Mm-hmm. And so, and you know, just kind of being in a huge kind of studio versus on location or something is always kind of really cool when you're an actor. Especially, I still get wowed out when I get to go on like an actual kind of set that's in like a soundstage studio versus, you know, whatever else. So that was really fun. Everybody was really kind and really lovely. And I mean, I met like Allison Mack then, and that's a whole thing, but
that's a whole other show. Amazing. Were you nervous?
I think I was probably a little nervous. It's one of those things, and it's so weird. I've learned so much, you know, moving through the years with on camera, especially that, because like, you know, memorizing lines and having to walk and talk, and you don't think it's a big deal until you kind of get there. And I had like maybe 5 lines tops, and you know, I was lucky that they were in 2 different scenes, so it's not even like I had to do them all at once. It was just like two lines, but it's just like, you know, when you see on television shows where like they're the actor pretending to be the actor, it's just like, and then I went this way, and then I went this way, and then I went this, like you're doing, you know, so many times just one line, and it's kind of ridiculous, but I feel like that's kind of a nervous thing because you just want to do it right. But now, you know, 15, you know, 12, 13, whatever years later, you know, I can bang out 8 pages of dialogue and not even think about it. So
amazing.
It's changed a lot for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And what changed? Do you think it's like practice or? Yeah.
Practice, and also just being able to like really, you know, find a process that works for you. It took me a long time to find my process for on camera. And, you know, there's just so much coming at you at all times. I took so many classes and workshops and had learned from so many people, and was just always just trying to do whatever I had learned and put it, you know, just specifically onto each audition. And then I realized I can't do that. I have to I like this really works for me. Oh, and then that really works for me. And like, you know, memorization was the worst for me. It would take me, I would have to like book the whole day off just for one, you know, I was like, and then just something clicked, you know, especially since moving to Toronto, I've got like a really great community around me here, that I get to tape with and read with and all that kind of stuff. And I just really just was like, you know what, this is a mindset that I'm blocking myself. I'm getting in my own way of thinking that this has to be hard. This has to be a big process and a big struggle and a big dramatic to do. And I'm like, I have a life. I can't spend, you know, a whole day memorizing 2 scenes. Like, it's ridiculous, you know, like, get your poop in a group and figure it out. And then something clicked. I changed my mindset and I said, no, from now on, this is going to be easy. And then it just ended up being easy. But I had like auditions. And the idea behind you having so many auditions is you don't have time to worry. You just have to get it done.
You just got to do the work.
Yeah.
So the mindset changed. Like, how important do you think mindset is with this industry and with
absolutely everything? Like, the bedrock foundation of getting into this, no matter what. I mean, it is not an easy kind of industry where you can just kind of like, I mean, I always say fake it till you make it, but there has to be intent with that thought process. You can just show up and call it in ever. Right. But, you know, the mindset has to be, I mean, my mindset, I always say, and I say this to all like my voice clients and in our workshops and stuff, is it's Survivor. It's a game of Survivor. So it's, you know, it's like outwit, outlast, you know, outplay or whatever, right? So it's like the last man standing will be the one who wins the race, and it's kind of inevitable, and you have to think it's inevitable. For me, I always thought it's not a matter of like, you know, how or whatever. It's just like when it's going to happen. It's not a matter if it's going to happen. When is it going to happen?
I love that. So then how did you get into voiceover?
So voiceover, I was at a commercial audition, and it was for like Coast Capital Savings, which is a bank in Vancouver. And I could not say this for the life of me. I kept Coast Plaza Savings. And I'm like, that's a hotel. It's not a bank. And I had a lovely director at the time. His name is Al Abel. He's kind of a big deal in Vancouver. He does a lot of casting for video games and voice all across the board. He's an amazing guy. He was like, okay, I think you're a really good fit for this. We just need one in the can. We just need one take of you saying what the product is. And
actually saying the words.
Yes. He was like, you're a really great fit for this. Like, let's do this. Keeping in mind, this was all on camera, so it's not voice. So he was just so patient. I did it like 13 times. I'm not messing with you. Okay.
Wow.
And then I did it and I got it in. He was like, good job. After that, I was like, oh, I was so nervous, like rattled. And then he was like, have you ever thought of doing voiceover? And I said, of course. I just have never, I don't know how to get into it, you know, even being in the industry already. He said, take my card, you know, get a demo made, talk to your agent. I want to see you in my room. You know, I cast voiceover. And I was like, what? Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Could not believe my luck. And then I went out and he like chased me out of the room. He's like, take my card. If you need anything at all, you let me know. So I just feel like I got kind of like a golden ticket, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory kind of situation. Like, you know, it was kind of fate intervening, and they booked that commercial.
Wow. Look at that. That's amazing.
Yeah. So weird.
Oh my gosh. It just goes to show you never know. Like, you leave the room and you're like, I want to crawl in a hole and never come out. And then you booked it.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. So then, that's so funny. So then what do you do to prep now? Like, how do you prep for a voiceover audition versus like on camera auditions?
Yeah, it's pretty streamlined now. So, I mean, obviously, you know, whoever's watching us understand that, like, you know, I have streamlined this process. So there was a lot to get to this, but my day to day, like, I got 5 auditions in the last 12 hours right now for voiceover. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
first I have to like prioritize what I'm also a coach, also putting on a workshop in the next week. Got a lot of stuff going on to kind of have a tiny life. Trying. But how do I prioritize? So first things first is, I always say like, do not put off tomorrow what you can do today. I have learned that so much in the last year because it will keep
Mm-hmm.
coming. You'll get overwhelmed and then you're fucked. Okay.
Right.
Like get it done if you can. If you have a window of time, sometimes I have to split it up. Get in, I'm going to record one. Cool. I'm going to go to kind of come back, record. But for the process of, let's say, animation, the number one thing is reading through all of the sides first, even from the top of the page to the page number. I learned this a long time ago from Mr. Andrew McElroy. He's an excellent on-camera instructor in Vancouver as well. And he said, every little piece of that paper, you should know what is on that because it's going to give you the hints to what is going on in the scene and in the story, which I thought was so valuable.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you're on like page 16 and that's where your sides, your audition pieces are pulled from, and you're running through a forest from a big monster going to chase your friends, and you show up to the line like, hey guys, how's it going? Really makes sense, right? They've put you in the middle of the action. It's page 16 from a 22-minute episode. That tells you how to get in, right? So the basic, acting stuff really comes into play. Your moment before, who am I talking to? What do I want? All of that stuff. And because I've got that checklist so sorted in my head for the last decade, and look at something and think about it really quick. I've also developed a Rolodex of archetype characters, which is something that we go through with the coaching and workshops and stuff, of what do all of these things sound like on me. I know what my mom sounds like. I know what my 16-year-old Gen Z sounds like. I know what my villain sounds like. And so I have these great little characters already developed, and I just take that archetype and then I build on it from the description that casting has given us, the breakdown. And then what else is going on in the scene, and see if I can come up with something that's going to be different. That's going to be a little bit of an edge, or something that maybe I found the other day that I've been saving and wanted to.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. So do you any kind of like physical stuff, even though it's like voice? How much physicality do you bring into it?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. Because it's voice, we do have to keep it smaller. But, you have, we've worked together before, and you've given me these amazing warm-ups. So big time for the face kind of warm-up, and any kind of stretching in this regard is a big physical thing for me. Singing is a huge thing, like singing or just opening up those vocal cords. I do a lot of like the voice throws. That adding an E, A, to that alphabet is like literally, if I have no time and I need to jump into like a Zoom audition, I'm doing the bibe ba, kike ka, si se sa. Like I'm doing that right before like my mouth just needs to move.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, like getting in there and massaging a little bit. In regards to like body, I mean, I feel like I'm a psychopath, so I'm constantly running around being I usually have that energy going on, but I would say if you're somebody who it takes a little bit more time to kind of get there, because you need energy for animation. It's
right.
1,000% necessary. So if that's something where you might find you kind of lack or need to work on, then doing something more physical, getting your breath up, doing a little bit of jumping jacks or getting your heart rate up a little bit. Even dancing, all that kind of stuff is really great. But for me, it's kind of more in this area, just making sure that I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, because that makes me curious, because when you're like, because sometimes you get like a photo or a picture, a drawing or a rendering of like what the character is like. Do you take on any kind of physical traits for that, even though you can't really see it? And can you hear it?
Okay. So for me, they just kind of come themselves. I don't really try to do anything. When I start kind of laying down the audition, if you're in the character, your natural body stuff's going to come out. So hands on the hips always. If it's authoritarian, superhero, I always do that. I also do this like weird like WWF thing. Super weird. I'm just like, and it's like,
yes.
It's like pulling in. I want to like pull in stuff. And I mean, a lot more physicality for the record versus the audition, I would say. Because the record is when you have to really be paying, you're standing, you're usually in a studio, you know, and you have to make sure your feet are grounded, that your hands aren't flipping the stand and the mic, and to be very aware of your body. So, but whilst wanting to move, because if you're doing an action show, there's no way you're going to be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, no way you're going to be able to like make a jump sound without moving your body, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah, because you did Mysticons,
Yes.
and there was a lot of like, impact.
Oh my.
Lighting.
You know, weapons and like, you know, like just really being able to make it sound real. You know, jumping on that train. There's like a train in the city where like, because I was like kind of the street rat kind of character, you know, jumping on there and like swinging from something. And that's something that we cover as well, you know, that you don't really think about. Like, what does your character sound like when they jump off of something, they're falling, and then they land? You know, what does your character sound like when they get scared? And is it like small, medium, large scare, you know?
Right. Right.
What does your character sound like when they're eating?
Right.
Right? What is a gulp? Like, how many people do that on a regular? No.
Right.
You don't know what
So is that like, to me, you have to be really playful. You have to be able to get something wrong. Right.
Oh, 100%. Like, I've been saying it a lot more lately because I do feel like a lot of people get into our business and they're just, I get it. I'm a perfectionist as well, but it's like, in order to do that, I have to find out what doesn't work first. So you have to be willing to just fail so many times, but like be proud in doing that, because I think it takes balls to fail. It takes balls to put yourself out there and try something. And that is what's going to book you a role. That is what's going to set you apart and be remembered.
Right. Yeah. That makes me think, like, because to me, Nikki, you're so authentically you. Like, how do you show up just always and like represent yourself authentically?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's taken a lot. I mean, I've been in this business for a long time, you know, I'd say about 15 years from beginning till now. And I was always, you know, I had some really great mentors and people who took a lot of time for me. But even if I didn't have that, it was like knowing that, you know, I bring something to the table, and like I said, the faking it till I make it kind of situation. But like, you know, also like why not me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you know, like, and you know, there was a little bit of struggle there for the beginning, because you kind of just have to, you end up sounding a little full of yourself and people can take you a certain way, but you have to be your number one advocate. You have to be confident. No, you cannot play it small. Like, you know, I can't remember what the quotes like name of it or whatever it is, but it's like, you know, our biggest fear isn't that we are too big, you know, like that one where it's like, our biggest fear is that we are too bright, like that we're too afraid to shine our light. And I realized like you can't. And I encourage everybody okay, Alexa, calm down. Everybody to really embrace that idea that, you know, you have to be big, and you have to, confidence is what kind of like drives this business, you know, without being an asshole, of course. You know?
Yes. Yeah, because you're still meeting people. Like, you still have to make relationships, even though like voiceover, you don't necessarily go into the room because you're sending in tapes, right? Or recordings.
Yeah. Sending in videotapes and you know.
Yeah, Alexa agreed. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, because you have to come into the room, you know, when you do meet people, in your own breath, in your own voice, with that confidence that I really love what you said. Why not me? I think that's such a good mindset to have. You know?
Everybody deserves, you know, you deserve to be there just as much as anybody else. And, you know, if you're open and willing and really believe in that, like, I think that people just get in their own way all of the time because of the doubt. You know, I have a question that like you're asking me about, like, Let me just check my notes here. Hang on a second. Something about like nerves. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And again, like I just, I tell my clients this, but I'm like, and even in real life, people are, I'm so nervous. I'm like, you're not nervous because you're just excited, like, like reframe it and make it's like, because they're exactly the same thing. Like scientifically, they're exactly the same feeling. They hit the exact same parts of your brain. And it's like, how do I reframe this? Okay. Because the reason why we get nervous about stuff is because we care, want to succeed. So if we can just switch that mindset and think, I'm just really excited about this. And that's why I feel that way. Actually, like, because let's just face it, you're not getting rid of that feeling anytime soon. I still get stuff. I've been doing this a long time, but when something is a big deal, brand new big pilot for a show, and I have like my 4th callback or whatever it is for like the lead, and I'm like, oh, like I want it,
Right.
So there's always going to be an element of nervousness, but it's like, how do you make it make sense for you in your own brain so you can use it for yourself instead of against you,
Yes, 100%. And I always feel like with nerves, a good antidote is to just get into play, get playful,
and
make sure that you've prepared.
Yes.
If you aren't prepared, it makes it way harder.
Absolutely. Yeah. Knowing what you're saying and being able to connect to it so that you can have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Because today, the preparation allows you to be directable, right? Like stuck in the one choice that you made and hoping it's the right one. You'll feel a lot better and have a lot less nerves if you're able to be directable, because then you'll get some banter and you'll get some back and forth with casting, and it'll chill out and it'll be good. You'll be like, oh, okay, this is fine. Like they're just people. Just
right.
Like, they want me to win,
Yeah.
How that goes, right?
Yeah. So then to be directable, I mean, do you have tips for that? Because I know like some of my students get really stuck into one way.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the biggest thing. It's, the preparation, like you said, making sure you are connected to what you're talking about and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I mean, really kind of acting from the point of view of the character, meaning if I was to go and do an improv session with you and you brought a character, you'd be able to answer anything at any time because you're the character. It's you. There's no right answers. There's no wrong answers. It's like basically if you're able to live from the point of view of the character instead of putting a mask on, we're not putting it on, right? We're working from the inside out. So if you're able to do that, it will be breezy to take direction because you'll go, oh, yeah, sure. Like me as Nikki, I can react to something a billion different ways.
Right.
I can say an expression, 10 different ways. So and it's because I know who I am, or I have an opinion about something. So now having your character have opinions about something.
So big.
So easy, you know? Yeah.
That is so big. I that's like one of the biggest thing that I say to students is have an opinion. Just have an opinion about everything you're saying, because like you said, you have an opinion, so shall your character should.
Yes.
We do the same thing with puppets. Marcello. Oh, that's so cool. That's really cool.
Great.
Yeah. Oh man, puppet work. I mean, that's amazing.
He came to me in Megan's first live, I think. I think that was it.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Oh, that's
so great.
Yeah. I love it. So then is there anything, that you do just because it's such a demanding industry, like you were saying, you got a slew of auditions in one day. Is there anything that you do for your own, heart and mental health and keeping boundaries with work and life?
It's the hardest part for me, the boundaries, because I want to do good. I'm so grateful and humbled by opportunity. I never not to want to have not to have opportunity. And it's taken so long to get the amount of opportunities that I have. Never, ever want to put out into the universe that I am annoyed or upset with this. It gets annoying and upsetting when you, like, good thing I'm solo and single, because Valentine's Day, I just sat in my booth for 4 hours. You know what I mean? because it's like, it has to be done, you know? So for me, for mental in regards to that, obviously gratitude is huge for me. It has always. So having that, but also really making sure that I, you know, set some time aside for myself. Yes, I only get 1 day a week. It's usually Saturdays where I have the whole day. I try not to do anything, you know, well, I mean, I do stuff around my house or run errands, but that's all like not work related.
Right.
But really, so if I get like 5 auditions on a Friday, you know, I'm going to do some tonight and then I'm going to do some on Sunday night. So Sundays are the new Mondays in my world. That's just kind of how it works. But that's the sacrifice that I make in order to be able to do what I do. Right. So yeah, Saturdays, you know, I love to cook. That is a huge stress reliever for me. Just getting a recipe, getting a bottle of bubbles or wine and just listening to a podcast or some tunes, just chilling out. Obviously, I'm, you know, really big for solo dance parties, as you've probably seen me do sometimes.
And I've participated in.
Yeah, or it's like, oh, today's Celine Dion day in the Burke residence, so we're just gonna belt out Celine Dion for the next 3 hours, you know, while we clean our floors or whatever. But all of that stuff actually, like, because I'm such a doer, having time, making time to have my space be comfortable or go for a walk on the Beltline, you know, and go grab a coffee and just not like talk to the trees or whatever I do, you know, like things are so important to me because if I don't make that time, I will not get it.
Yeah. So you schedule it.
Have to. Yeah.
Yeah. And then guarding it at all costs.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't, but I just don't do it.
Oh, I love that. I think that's so smart. I do the same. Otherwise, if I don't plan like when I rest, I will get burnt out with the amount of stuff I juggle.
So easy to get burnt out.
So simple.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So then, I mean, we can open it up if anybody has any questions. You can toss her into the chat. But I'm curious what you would say to someone who's just getting into voiceover. What's any advice? Any hot tips?
Yeah, hot tips on the street. So been a better time to get into voiceover, I would say. It is absolutely been blown wide open because of the pandemic and everybody staying at home, and switching online and, you know, pay to play sites. And so when I say pay to play, that just means non-union work on things like voices.com, Voices123, Fiverr, ACX, all those things where there's audition platforms that you can sign up for and they send you auditions and you can vie for jobs. Negotiate your own contracts and money and all that kind of stuff. That's predominantly the majority of the clients that I work with on a regular basis. So anybody can do it now. It wasn't always like that. It used to be that you had to get this amazing demo done and you got one shot, kid, to make a first impression with an agent, you know? Like, you know, yes, there is that side of it, but there's also so many other avenues that you can go, and you can do this part-time. You could do it as a stay-at-home mom. You can do it as anything at all. You know, I have clients that have quit their jobs that are now just doing it full-time because they got the training and made a little mini demo and they work at it. So my advice is to get a coach. First things first. It's not about your gear. It's not about your studio. You need to learn how to actually do voiceover before you can or should invest in all of these things. You want to know if you like it. You want to know if it's a good fit for you. So don't put the cart before the horse and go out and spend all this money. First of all, you don't need to do it. It's like honestly not necessary. Also, there's very cheap ways to do home studios, cheap, smart ways. And there's, you know, there's a great amount of different gear out there that's not going to break the bank for you either. I always say, like, work smart, not necessarily hard or expensive, you know? But yeah, I would say definitely look into a coach. Also, always, improv classes are fantastic with voiceover and acting. Any kind of acting foundation that you have, it all kind of is the same thing across the board in regards to how to develop a character and break down a script and created like a dynamic read. So any of those things. And then next is just like, if you get the coaching, you know what? Start auditioning.
Mm.
Why not? That's how I learned. I didn't really take class for voice. I did my training in acting, and then I just kind of applied it and just took my shot and just started auditioning, and I just got better and better as I got directed. Got better and better.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's
Amazing.
what
I love that. That's so helpful. So, oh, look at that. Our time is up. Bye. Just kidding. Okay.
quick. Yeah.
But before we go, I wanted to talk about your workshop, because your workshop's so awesome. I got a chance to work alongside you and see the wealth of knowledge that you have and that you offer in that class is amazing. And anybody who's in Toronto should go if you're interested in voiceover, because you're not going to get anything that's more well-rounded and informative and get on the mic training.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we run quarterly workshops. We try to do one, every couple months. It's done in Toronto, downtown Toronto, at Chakras Institute, which is a sound and audio engineering school. They have state-of-the-art equipment, beautiful studios. It's a 2-day workshop. We do animation and commercial. I think we're the only workshop in the city that offers both of those in an intensive workshop environment. I always just think if you're going to get into it, you should do both, and then you never know what you're going to find out about yourself. You might be really great for commercial, or if you were only thinking commercial and narration, maybe you got some crazy weird stuff in there and that comes out. The first day is it's kind of like going through the archetypes of animation, which I kind of touched on earlier, the 8 tones of selling for commercial, how to develop a character from the ground up, how to find your commercial voice. There's lots of fun little improv stuff, warm-ups. I teach with a wonderful voice actor named Megan Fallenbach. She's kind of a big deal. She's been around a decade longer than me, and she's just kind of famous. So you'll get to meet her. And she's also got a wealth of knowledge. And we are very different in our coaching styles. She is very kind of nice, and I'm not. It's good.
Back up.
Yeah, she's like, just like kind of, I'm straight to the point. She's like soft and kind of, whatever. We compliment each other. Let's just say that. It's not scary. So that's the first day. And then, you get to do some reads, and we pull some sides for you for an animated audition. We pull some sides for a commercial audition. And then the second day is all in studio. So you're in studio, you're on the mic, you're getting directed. We work with Jeff Wright, who is one of the, he's one of the best engineers in the city. He works with top casting in the city. He's literally a miracle worker, and so kind and so fun. And so even just getting to meet him, you'll have a familiar face for when we get to be back in person for auditions, because Jeff's going to come set up your mic and record your audition for you. So that's kind of a fun little thing as well. But yeah, we direct you as if you're in a session, so that you get used to getting the verbiage of direction. What does it mean to put a smile on that, brighten up? Can we pick that up and smooth that out? Can you tighten that up a little bit? So that when you do get into the actual setting, it's not shocking, and right, what the direction is, what directors are asking from you, because that takes a while as well. And then you get a nice, clean, finished, kind of polished copy of a very great commercial read and a very great animated read, and you can shop that to agents, or you can shop that to, put that on your pay-to-play site. And I really just feel it is an intensive weekend. We go through everything. We tell you all the tricks of the trade that we know. We don't hold anything too close to our chest. We believe in paying it forward and helping people get into this business. And you're going to find out some way, so you may as well find out through us. Yeah. So next weekend, it's March 5th and 6th. It's 12 to 5 both days, so 5 hours each day. If you want more information, or you want to reserve a spot, we have a couple spots left. $100 reserves your spot. You can pay the rest closer to. You can just email me, or go to our Insta page, which is Voicebox Coaching Toronto. And yeah, that's it.
I'll throw all that in the
info
for the replays. Oh, well, thank you so much, Nikki. This has been so nice. I mean, I could talk to you forever, so we'll continue. We'll continue later. Thanks
Okay.
so much, and
Yeah,
thanks for everybody for watching, for
for
tuning
coming.
in.
Thanks for hosting. And yeah, if anybody ever has any questions moving forward, always feel free to reach out because I am available and open. I'll get back to you sooner than later.
Yay! Thanks, Nikki.
All
We'll
right.
see
Thanks.
you soon. Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Bye.